In the second part of the presentation, you've learned that views are organized on the screen according to a layout. Layouts are views themselves, which allow them to be nested within another layout. It's possible to position views in relation to one another, provided that each view is given a unique identifier. So this allows for a nice graphical user interface, but it lacks interactivity. What about interactivity? We need to do something about that. So we're going to work on that right away. The other side of our activity board is black because the user will not see this side. But on this side, we will stick another set of magnets to control the white side, the display screen. There is quite a range of action that we can specify for when the OK button is clicked, for instance. And there are multiple events we can react to in addition to the click on the OK button. So let's see some of these controls. First, I can change the appearance of the button, like its background color, for instance. When the event button OK is clicked occurs, then I'll do the following action. I'll set the background color of this view to the value blue. So the button is clicked and it turns blue. Or I can make it invisible. So the event is still the same, the OK button is clicked, but now the action is to change the visibility of the OK button. Knowing the ID of an edit text can also allow me to retrieve the text typed in into it by the user. So for instance, here when this button is clicked, my first action is to retrieve the text stored in the view edit text up 1. So that's this view. So here, let's say that the user enter 3. I retrieve this value and I store it into the variable called nb1. Next, my second action is to retrieve the text typed in the second edit text up 2. Let's say the user into 4. So now the variable nb2 is equal to 4. And my last action is to set the text display in this text view here, text view result, to be the value nb1 plus nb2. So here I will display the string 7. So we already have a very simple functional calculator. But maybe you have something more ambitious in mind, something which will be more natural to achieve using multiple activities. Well, Android enables you to define as many activities and screen as you like for an application. And just as for views, each activity or screen is given a unique identifier. But at a given time of the execution of your application, only one activity is fully active. And this activity presents a screen to the user, and the user cannot interact with any other activity. So of course, an action associated to this interface can be to change the activity. Like here, when the OK button is clicked, my action is to change activity, to start a new activity, an activity name, act, items. So the user clicks, and here I have my new activity. The screen associated with the new activity comes into the foreground, and the user no longer interacts with the first activity, which is stopped. If the user clicks the back button on the phone, the current activity is destroyed, and the screen of the previous activity, which was stopped, is brought to the foreground again. When you move from one activity to the next, you can pass some information along. For instance, in the first activity, I retrieve the age of the user, and I start the second activity, name activity out2. And I can provide the age, the value of the variable age to this new activity. And upon starting, the other activity can retrieve this value and put it into a variable and then use it afterward. For instance, here you can display a customized message. So you can design plenty of Android applications as sets of activities and associated graphical user interfaces. In the next series of readings, you will discover additional widgets, actions, and events. And then you'll be able to imagine something fun or useful to make our user happy.